Welcome to Smiles Television Talk Show. I'm your host, Stephanie Anthony Miles, and we have another terrific broadcast for you today. I'm going to be talking with individuals from the East Side. That's right, my hometown, East St. Louis, Illinois. You know, quite frequently we get bad stories about our young men and what they're doing. But today, we're going to show you something different. I'm going to be talking with Tawan Williams, who's with the Christian Activity Center in East St. Louis, and he mentors young men on the East Side. And then we're going to get some sustainable solutions from some people who've been here before, and they're just so much fun, and they're doing great things on the East Side. Stay tuned for more smiles, and remember that Jesus Christ was born of a virgin. He was crucified and buried, and he rose on the third day. He's coming back again. Confess that he is Lord. Believe it in your heart. Stay tuned for more smiles. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. I'm sitting here with a young man, Tawan Williams. He mentors youth on the East Side. Quite frequently, we hear stories about our men who are sagging, our men who are gangbanging, those who don't want to go to school. But this is not that kind of story. As a matter of fact, at his young age, he's mentoring those individuals to excellence. And I want you to join me in welcoming Tawan Williams. Tawan, thank you for coming to Smiles Television Talk Show.
Likewise.
It's just such a pleasure to meet you, and it's just refreshing to see a young man whose head is in the right direction. We got a lot to talk about in a short time, so I want you to just get started. Give us a little bit about your background and how you even grew to the place where you are today.
Well, life experiences took me to this place. I grew up in East St. Louis, Illinois, and I experienced some of the same trials and tribulations, some of the same poverty situations that most do in our neighborhood. However, I was exposed to greater, and being exposed to that, I found that there was another side to life.
Well, tell me this: you were exposed to greater, and how were you exposed to it? Who exposed you to it, and what was that greater?
Well, I was in the process of doing some of the stuff that everybody else do, and it was flirting. And a young lady, I was reaching out to her, and I got an opportunity to speak with her mom, and she invited me to church.
Okay.
It took months for me to go, but I eventually made it out to church, and I was exposed to some great black men that was doing great things in their communities for its business and developing young men and young adults. So I accepted them as mentors. I reached out and asked for mentorship.
Okay, and you know what? I love the church, and Christ loves the church. But was it the church itself that changed you, the people in it? What was it, the word? Or?
It was God's divine appointment that changed me, because there was people that I needed to see that was doing things in a positive light instead of the ones that were selling drugs and robbing and stealing, which was what I was exposed to coming up the majority of my life. I was exposed to people who was God-fearing, that was willing to take me on and show me the other way to grow and to be a positive young man.
Give me a little background on the Christian Activity Center, and what's its mission and goals, or what are some of the things that you guys do over there?
Well, definitely youth and young adult development. Mainly Christian principles is our foundation. But we have found throughout the years that not only Christian principles is necessary in our community, but literacy, education, academics, also how to have life skills, respect each other, and how to operate in unity. So those things we have added to our mission, and which allowed us to go forward in our community.
So you deal with the whole person.
Yes, the
mind,
whole
body, and soul.
Yes.
The youth in the East St. Louis area, you know, East St. Louis, Illinois is, I want to say 100%, but it's maybe 98% African American.
Yes.
And we get a bad rap. You know, there's crime all over the world, and crime in East St. Louis, Illinois. How do you and your center, one entity and one person, how do you think you can make a difference?
Well, it takes one person at a time to unify with another person. So it's going to take locking arms. It's going to take support from community individuals and leaders. It's going to take actually getting out there and doing the work. Less talking, more action is what's going to make the difference. Because once the people see that you are doing something that's worthwhile, they'll tag along.
And you know, you're dealing with literacy within your organization. You're dealing with a lot of things that individuals need. But the youth today, if they're on drugs, if they don't have parents at home, how can you get into their head? I mean, what tools or mechanisms do you use to really get that one-on-one with them, to show them that your lifestyle is the correct lifestyle,
Right.
and that there's a different way of living? How do you do that?
Well, I taught a few of my mentees, my proteges. I taught them there's 5 elements to a child's life as they grow up. And when they come in, they expect to have a mother, a father, spiritual guidance, mentor, and a companion, which is a friend or someone like that. And if you have those 5 things, you feel complete. A lot of our children in the community do not have those 5 things. So there are alternatives that's being put in place, such as mentors to take fatherly mentors to take place of father, or a spiritual mother or something like that that could take mother place, and different things to alternative just to help support those missing links. And once you get those things in life, you'll begin to feel complete and feel like you're worth something.
You know, I know people talk about the Michael Brown incident, and it's something that is a horrendous thing. We don't know all of the details, but what we do know, and what we appear to know, is that his hands were up, and the police chose to continue to shoot him anyway.
Right.
So just for the sake of appearance, that really appears to just be wrong. What feedback are you getting from the individuals with whom you deal?
Well, I have received a lot of feedback on both sides. However, I pray that we unify in all situations, even in our own communities, because it hurts me more when a black-on-black crime take place.
Right, and that's something that I was asked to be on a teen talk show with Pastor Willie Brown on the East Side, and we were talking with the teens of his church. And one of the young ladies expressed fear. She said, well, you know, it just seems like, she said, I don't know if it's just white on black crime with the police officer. She said, I really think there's an abuse of authority. And that was a good point,
Yes.
that there's abuse of authority. And but the thing that God put in my heart to share with her is that we don't have to fear, because God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind.
Right.
Now, we know if a lion is coming up, that's innate. And so you may be afraid. And even if we do have some fear dealing with man, we're to overcome that.
Exactly.
You know, Paul didn't fear men. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I feel even though you do not care for the contact of one, and you feel some form of fear, there's always wisdom that comes behind it, and you should take wisdom before fear. So.
And we have a God,
Yes,
and you know,
yes.
and God is real,
Yes.
and everybody has a higher authority. What are some of the things that you are going to be doing coming up soon that you want to see done with the Christian Activity Center, your personal life? Where are you headed, and what's going on?
Well, right now our community has a lot of organizations that's in place that's operating individually. I would love to see our community join forces and have the right focus and be about our Father's business, be about our community business, and join forces, lock arms, and get the job done, because my concern and passion is for the youth and young adults.
I'm looking forward to reading a book about you.
Well, it's almost there.
I know, and I'm trying to get you to talk about it. Tell us what's going on with that.
Well, the book, they say, in biblical terms, they say the year 7 is the year of completion. So I'm on my year 6.
Okay, yeah, we got to get past that and get to 7.
Yeah, so hopefully I complete in year 7.
Well, can you give us a little bit about it?
Well, it's entitled, should I give my title? It's entitled Life's Things.
Life Stings.
Yes, Life's Things. I incurred a situation as a child where I was attacked by black hornets, and it took me to the hospital and almost took my life. And then not only that occurred, but throughout my life, I ran into a lot of situations that stung me and pricked me, pricked my heart.
Okay.
So it took me back. Every time a situation occurred, it reminds me of my life situation when I was younger.
Wow. If individuals are interested in being mentored or want to make contact with you, how can they do that? And you can tell our audience, if you will, websites and things of that nature. I don't think we can give out the telephone number, but you can give them your website.
Okay. Well, you can reach me at empowermementoring.com. That's EMPOWERMEmentoring.com.
Tawan, thank you very much for being a part of Smiles Television Talk Show. And I try to ask all of my guests if you're going to come back. And remember, you're on tape, so what you say, we can go back and roll the tape.
Anytime. You can call me back later on this evening.
Okay. Well, thank you. And I want to thank you for staying with us on Smiles Television Talk Show. We're going to come back with Stephanie. Another Stephanie, that's right. And remember, that name Stephanie is crowned and illuminated. So we got two of them that's going to be sitting here today. And along with her partner, Terrance Taylor. Stay tuned for more Smiles. We'll be right back.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
Abandoned and lost. From the dark, cold streets of the city to a cage in the local shelter, to heaven, your lap.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education.
Right up here.
So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour
Lights there, darks there.
to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
Welcome back to Smiles Television Talk Show. I want to thank Tawan Williams, who was just with us from the Christian Activity Center. And he's a young man with a goal, a mission, and he mentors youth on the East Side. And now I'm sure not just the East Side, but youth from all over. Right now, I'm sitting here with two of my favorite individuals. They've been on Smiles Television Talk Show before, and they're back again. I have Mr. Terrance Taylor. That's right, I got his name right this time, Terrance Taylor. and Stephanie Bush from Community Development Solutions in East St. Louis, Illinois. Thank you, Terrance Taylor, for coming to Smiles, and thank you, Stephanie Bush.
Thank you.
You know, the last time that they were here, we talked about our names. And just real briefly, I told you right before the break that Stephanie means what?
Is crowned and anointed.
She says crowned, anointed, and the version I had said crowned and illuminated,
yes.
which all goes together. And then Terrance told me that we talked about names so much
that
he had to go find out what his meant.
Exactly. Right.
Okay, what does Terrance mean? I haven't seen a Terry, biblical Terry though, is it? But still.
Well, actually, it's based on the Thor, the biblical god Thor.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well,
so
that's a shame.
So right, but broken down in its entirety, it means Lord of the Manor.
Oh,
or
little
Lord
L.
of the Land.
Little L.
Yeah.
Okay, because Jesus is the Lord.
Hello.
And the Lord be magnified. So we won't even talk about what Terrance means anymore because he got some connotations that we don't even deal with on this broadcast. But anyway, thank you. And I'm just really grateful that you came back again. Community Development Sustainable Solutions. You know, before we get into what you're doing, I want to introduce you again to the public. Tell us what you do. What does that whole long name mean?
Community Development Sustainable Solutions has to do with finding sustainable solutions, that is solutions that last, here in our community that are smart, green, and sustainable. We are a grassroots organization, which means we bridge that gap between what the local citizen wants all the way to lobbying there in Springfield. So we do various things to make sure that our voices are heard, make sure that these directions are stern and that they do count towards those solutions that we can all live with. And that's all in quotations. Not just for some, it should be for everyone. So we make sure that that happens.
Okay, and Terrance Taylor, what's your role with Community Development Sustainable Solutions and how do you fit into the whole scheme of things?
Well, I'm the marketing director, and what I do is I take our programs and I actually make a call sheet out of them, you know, which is a really hard thing to do because, you know, our business is actually helping people. So how do you put a cost on help? So, you know, that's the most problematic part of my job.
Okay, are you seeing any progress or are you guys really able to turn over some stones?
That's a great question.
Okay.
It's exciting times is what it is. We did, since the last time we saw you, we worked with the school district, providing supplemental educational services. We're happy to have completed that, a job well done. I know we were one of the top agencies who showed that success rate. We also gave a graduation to the youth, provided healthy snacks, helped them during their homework time. That was what was important. We also turned around and did the teen outreach program within the school district, which was part of Collective Impact. Teen outreach programming follows the best practices in order to turn around some of those counterproductive behaviors that our youth are experiencing today, namely like bullying and some of the other things that may cause problems and make things blow out of proportion. So we work heavily with those students to try to reprogram and redirect daily those negative behaviors.
Let me ask you this, Terrance, with bullying that Stephanie just mentioned. And what kind of impact are you seeing in that regard in terms of helping that not to exist in our community?
Wow, see, with the Wyman approach, which Ms. Bush facilitates, it's teaching them a different way to deal with those anger issues that they have.
Kind of like conflict resolution.
Yeah, but it actually just teaches them how to deal with it within themselves before they actually act out. So I think it's a perfect model to benefit our youth in our community.
You're walking the youth through that. You're walking them through it. You're not giving them a lesson on what might be good and might work, because a lot of times that's not what does work. So putting them in those in-your-face situations so that they can deal with it up front and make those changes that they need prior to even leaving out of your face. And that's what really works, because you're constantly drilling or programming this redirection in them, and that is something great. And as we partner with Leslie Bates, that is where we facilitate that aspect of it in Lincoln Middle School as well as Mason Clark Middle School. So there were some changes and some things learned from those youth, and that is what we love to see. That's why we're here.
You know what? Community development, sustainable solutions. We need solutions, and the Mike Brown case. I'm bringing that up again. We talked about it just a little bit with Tawan Williams, who was with us. Are you running into issues with people that you come in contact with, and if so, are you? How are you helping them to understand or to deal with such situations?
Well, understanding that on our level, we know that it's about a system. System is like a machine. A machine moves like it's well oiled. So you must begin to create a system to combat that system that we're dealing with. You need to get the youth in positions where they can help affect the laws that are on the book. Push some of our politicians to actually write these bills that are necessary. You look in our external environment, we've got 45, 50, 100 bills that are being put up in front of Senate all the time. But our area has a measly 1 to 2 bills or so. So we need to be more proactive, showing the youth what are the steps so that maybe they may want to take the steps, or at least stand with us as these steps are taken in their behalf. Mike Brown is a sad situation, and it is one that we feel very deeply about that's going on in the St. Louis area. But East St. Louis, we need to deal with what's going on in our backyard. So finding some way to redirect that so that it doesn't happen anymore, and also providing those tools that the youth need to understand if it were you or if it were your cousin, we don't want to just beat the street all day. We want to actually come up with solutions that work. Sustainable ones.
Sustainable solutions, and that's right. Terrance Taylor.
Yes, ma'am.
Community development block grants and things of that nature. I think you guys have some activities going on. Fill our audience in, if you will.
Okay, now see, we're excited, and what we'd like to do is actually tell Community Development Block Grant that we're actually very appreciative of your sponsorship of our job readiness training program that we do through Leslie Bates Davis Neighborhood.
Give some of them stats on that job readiness program.
Oh yeah, we're already over 300 individuals hired with our job readiness program now.
See, why don't we know that kind of information?
Well, we give it out on our site.
But I mean, but more than you should be doing that. I mean, that's great information. I mean, Channel 2, 4, 5, 11, all of them should be dealing with that and sharing that information.
Well, you are.
Okay, that's why we have smiles.
Hello.
That's why your name's Stephanie. That's why we're on the show.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. Well, we're gonna blow this one up. We're gonna make sure we send this out because that's excellent information.
Right. We've been, as we said when we saw you last time, it was a little over 100 people that we were able to get those jobs for. And as we said, we love Leslie Bates Davis Neighborhood House. They've been right there with us. They were watching this project that we've spearheaded. They turned around and were able to get that grant to help us do even greater things. We sat out listening to jazz music last night at the Jazz Ensemble Market, where we had enlisted the support of Clint Collins from Studio 618. He's been performing there, and he'll be there until Sunday. We also had workers on the inside working cashiering or serving us the food. And that's worth so much.
Yes,
when
it
you can
is.
see those people in those positions who didn't have a car or was living in their car, but now they're up, they're dressed, and they're professional, and they're prepared to take on the job.
Giving them some sustainable solutions.
Sustainable solutions.
Okay, upcoming events, upcoming activities. What's going on, Terrance?
Okay, the first event that we have is we're doing trunk or treat. Now, this is a unique idea. And what we do is we have a trunk of a car, and we make it up really scary, you know, and we give out our treats from the trunk.
Oh, I see.
And that'll be at Studio 618. Yeah, that'll be at Studio 618. That's 809 St. Louis Avenue, and that'll be on October the 31st. That's Halloween. That's where we're giving out our kids for our candy for our kids in the city.
Okay, trunk
Also,
or
what about the tournament to answer Mike Brown? Speak on that, please.
Oh yes, and we're also having a basketball tournament to answer some of those issues about the Mike Brown situation with our youth, some of the questions that they have. And we're going to give a basketball tournament. Hopefully we'll have it at Eastside High, Mr. Seabury, so you hear us talking about it. Okay. Right. So, yeah, we're trying to get that for Thanksgiving weekend, so when all the kids are here from college, they'll have someplace safe to go for free.
Oh, wow, that's excellent. Okay, if people want to get in contact with you, you can give out your website and let them know just what's needed and how to make contact with you.
Okay, you can make contact with us at CommDev Sustain Solution. That's COMMDEV Sustain SUSTAIN Solution SOLUTION.
Okay, Terrance Taylor.
At Gmail.
At gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
Okay, Stephanie and Terrance Taylor, it's just always a pleasure. Are there any other activities before I close out that you want to make sure, any words of wisdom, anything you want to close out with?
I definitely want the public to know jobs are available. It's about putting one foot in front of the other. Come on and find us at the Mary Brown Center. It's on 15th Street. Come and see us right there in Lincoln Park if you need some help on putting that positive foot forward. What about your elevator speech? Do you know how to sell yourself? Let us give you the tools that you need to actually begin to thrive in the community. Remember, we're trying to build that tax base up, Mayor, so we need y'all to come on.
And I'm just kind of estimating the time. I'm pretty sure we're probably winding on down. I want to thank you again, and you made good on your promise that you would come back. So I'm going to ask you again to come back.
All right.
Now, cameraman, you see this, all of you cameramen, and it's on tape. Stephanie Bush and Terrance Taylor from Community Development Sustainable Solutions. They have solutions for our community. They're just not talking things, they are doing it. They just told me about 300 people put to work in our community. That's remarkable. Thank you again. I want to thank again Tawan Williams from the Christian Activity Center. Tawan has a book coming out. I'm not going to keep talking about the name of it. He really didn't want to give that to you, but Tawan Williams, you remember that name? A young man on the move who really represents us well. Thank you again for tuning into Smiles Television Talk Show. Tune in every Monday at 11:30 a.m. on Charter Cable Channel 191 and at 8 o'clock p.m. on Mondays on Charter Cable Channel 984. We want to hear from you. We need feedback. Tell us how we can improve. Tell us what you want to talk about. Make contact with us. You can contact us at smilesconsulting777@gmail.com or smilestv777@gmail.com. You can go to my website, which is smilestv.com. Remember, only what you do for Christ will last. Keep smiling. You look better when you smile.